What's up, guys? Versus Z here with a video review of the 1 to 100 scale Gundam Barbatos from Iron-Blooded Orphans. Welcome back, guys, and just like with good old-fashioned Versus Z style, let's go ahead and jump right into this review and look at his details. Now I'm going to start with this because I got a lot of questions on how I painted him and what I did. I did not paint him the way that you guys think I did. I only simply added details, I used Gundam marker, and I applied clear coat. That's it. Semi-gloss clear coat. That's all I did. I know in pictures he does look a lot cooler than he does. A lot of those pictures have no filters on them on my Instagram. And he does look like he's been painted. One picture I noticed looks like he had like a special coating, especially in the blue. But no, this is all bare plastic. This is all simple, straight build. And I just used Gundam markers to add the necessary details that I needed to add without the use of stickers. Which, by the way, is all the way over here because I tossed it earlier. Yeah, this thing. This is what you get out of the kit. Again, I didn't use any of these stickers, although I might use some of these metallic green stickers for like a lens. I'll show you in a second what I'm talking about. But details, I don't know what you guys think of the look of the 1 to 100 scale version of the Barbatos. For those of you who have the high grade, which has been out for a while now, the high grade, as you know, captures more of the anime proportions, rather than this one, which looks bulkier, which I prefer because I feel like it captures more of the power of the Barbatos. But anyway, what I did was basically replace all the golds with Gundam marker yellow. I'm sorry, all the yellows with Gundam marker gold. The grays where they needed to be, and I had to add an extra layer of the gray because the gray on the Barbatos is pretty much borderline black. Not quite black, but it's almost there. So I had to add a couple extra layers just to make it a little bit darker. All these power symbols, not all of them. I think this one you don't get a sticker for it. I'm not 100% sure, but you do get stickers for the knees and for the shoulders there. Horrendous stickers. I hated especially the ones on the shoulders. This probably was the most difficult part, especially the cleanup, because if you actually have built this kit, this part here you can easily do, but once it gets around to this side, it's not as elevated. It just has this like weird shape to it, especially it's rounded, so it came off a little difficult. I had to do that part twice, but that was done with a metallic red Gundam marker, because it kind of looked pink to me the first time I've ever used metallic red Gundam marker. I hope that's a good replacement. I don't know what you guys think, but that's pretty much all I did. So gold for the yellows, metallic red for the pink areas. You know, I did the grays in what they were supposed to be. Now, since I'm behind the kit anyway, as you can see, it does have a lot of molded in detail, especially in the Gundam frame. Now, if you built the Gundam frame, you kind of know just how detailed it is. Now, this build for me was a little bit inconsistent because there was, as you can see, parts that I painted and some parts that I didn't paint that I should have, like these pistons in the back of his knees here, the piping, all of these cool little details, all these pipes and pistons and whatnot that could have easily been painted. I'm probably going to do that later on in another build, but you can just see how cool it is. Now, is the inner frame or the Gundam frame like a master grade frame? No, it's not. It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel as secure as a master grade frame, but it's similar. It's used as a skeleton and you build the armor right over it. But it's a lot more simplified than a master grade frame, but still cool nonetheless, and also very detailed. All right, now on to my favorite part, articulation. And this guy's got quite a bit. Now let's start with the head here. It's got a ball joint there. It's one of the new polycaps, but it's just a single ball joint. The neck is supposed to move back and forwards a little bit, but you can barely tell. The only way you can tell is you kind of have to look out for the white collar there. You can see it moving a little bit back and forward, but it does move a little bit in and out. These gray areas, these I guess collar pistons there, they can swing. But they're not attached to anything, so it's more of an illusional thing. The torso is pretty much the coolest part of this kit, which pretty much sold it for me. And also the thing that makes it a slightly master grade-ish, but it's just a feature. Those pistons there move as you move the body. You can tilt it side to side. It's got an ab crunch, a very nice ab crunch. It's connected with a ball joint to the waist, and you can rotate the model kit there. So you got a pretty good range of movement within the torso. The arms are kind of a disappointment to me, but they still work. Now these shoulders here, the shoulder armors, they tend to pop off if you kind of move them off, move them in a weird way. Anyway, you can rotate the shoulder this way. There's two joints because it's attached with a ball joint there, but it doesn't give you the kind of wiggle you expect out of it, which is kind of the disappointing part, because you can't really swing the arms forward very well. Having the arms swing forward would help with a lot of poses. Makes it easier. You can still pull them off, but it would just make the posing process easier. This thing here is on a hinge, and you can take off the armor there for if you want to make him look like his first form, but you would need extra parts from other kits in order to do that. But it just kind of slides there, so it comes off a little too easily, which kind of is annoying, but it's all part of the features and the gimmick of these 1-to-100, or the gimmick of the Iron Blooded Orphans kits in general. Separate hinge that goes all the way up that way, pretty much all the way up if these shoulder armors weren't in the way. Rotation at the bicep, kind of a double jointed bend with a good angle there, and ball joint wrist. We already went over the torso. I don't remember if the front skirts were separated or if I did it myself. I kind of just do it out of habit, so I don't remember anymore. I'm pretty sure they were one piece before, but I mean, you can separate them. It's pretty easy. Side skirts are on a hinge that go up and down, and the back skirts are stationary. The hips are separate, so they can swing together. They kick out about that far. They only rotate inwards so much because of the shape of the top of the thigh there. So there's that. It's a rotation. It's a rotation right here. It's a peg into a polycap. Bend, double jointed knee bend, which gives you a pretty good bend, as you can see. I just don't like the way it looks here. It's not very, fleshed out. To hide that, I mean, if you want to kind of hide that, that's as much as of a bend you're going to get. Otherwise, you're going to get something like that. I feel like they could have done a little. I feel like they could have given it kind of a double O joint, like the double O Gundam joint, is what I'm saying, or not even the double O joint, but the Exia joint, which this kit reminds me a lot of, by the way. So there's that. You have a pretty cool rocker joint for the ankle. Without the armor, though, you can literally get a full tilt, but what's keeping it from doing that now is this armor piece right here. You can easily mod that, though. You can either shave some of the gray or shave some of the white, just maybe make it flush down instead of having this extra elevated part right there. You can have it flush down, and then you'll be able to get the full ankle rocker that it used to have. The ankles go down, they go up. These go up on their own as well. And this little part here can move, and that's pretty much the articulation. Doesn't seem like it's a lot, but if you guys know me, I know you guys know that I can bring out the best of this kit and still pull off some pretty cool poses. And that's all that matters to me. So just push it to the limits, and you'll be able to get the pose you want. Just make sure you're safe with it. But there's one other thing that kind of annoys me about this kit. Alright, now the accessories. Now let's start with one of the biggest reasons why people dislike this kit. It's kind of a dumb reason, but it's good enough reason to dislike it. See this thing here? You guys saw it in the intro. You know, the weapon he's mostly known for. You don't get it with this kit. You don't. You get it with the 1-to-100 scale Barbatos 6 form kit, which came out after this one. So if you pick this one up and then you saw the Barbatos 6 form kit and you're like, hey, it has the mace. Oh, dang it. I should have just waited for it. Typical of Bandai to do that. But you do not get this mace. You have to get it with the Barbatos 6 form kits. Setting that aside, this is not the annoying thing I was talking about, but setting this aside, let's talk about the main accessories. Let's start with the smaller things. Now, with the Gundam frame, you can pretty much build the entire armor over the frame except for the replacement of this part here, which is just the kind of like frame for the V-fin. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's an extra piece you just have to deal with. He does come with extra hands, just plain simple hands. And I kind of wish that these kits would come with an animated hand. Like, look at that. Look at that. Like, it's like, look at this pose. Like, I wish I could do the same exact pose with my model kit, because if he had just his fist, which doesn't even look like a fist, or just the palm hand, like if it was the palm hand, it would look like he was just like, go that way. But if he had a hand like this with the kit, you could make the kit look a little bit more powerful, you know? Include these more in your kits, Bandai. Come on, it's not that hard. There's that, and then of course the main part here. This is the backpack unit with two of the main weapons that it does come with. Fix the focus first. We're going to talk about the sword, and it just attaches, kind of hooks into there, and hooks securely into this. This comes with the kit, of course. The sword, which is made of two pieces. I also painted the power symbol there. You can barely see it, but it's there. I wanted to do that, but from the hilt down, it's all supposed to be white. And I did not do that. You do get two pegs on each side of the handle, which means you can hold it on either hand. Each hand does have a peg hole, of course. Now, can you dual wield? Can you not dual wield, but make him hold it with two hands? Yes, you can. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see it's very possible. It's just a little bit difficult, but it can be done. Also, the hilt kind of sits loosely in the hand. You don't necessarily have to use these pegs, but he can still hold the sword with or without it. And I just think it looks better if he held the sword closer to the hilt like that. So that's easy. The next one would be the smoothbore gun, and there's a peg here. It's a separate piece that you have to put in there. Anyway, the smoothbore gun, it's made of a few pieces, so that was pretty cool. The only one thing that this piece of accessory doesn't come with is a sticker. Now, you saw earlier the foil stickers right here, right? These green foil stickers, these are all supposed to go on the Gundam frame. But I didn't use any of them, so I'm thinking of taking maybe that one and putting it on the lens there. Because you'd think, if anything, if there should be a sticker, it should be on the lens, right? But it doesn't come with it. So I'm going to probably use that for that. Now, the gun itself, pretty cool feature in and of itself. Pegs in like that, so it's secure. Pull it out. Up, in, click inside, extend that. There's your smoothbore gun. Again, you have the two pegs on each side of the handle, so you can hold it in either hand. Preferably, I like it on the left, because I think that this smoothbore gun is more of a secondary thing for Mikatsuki. I always thought Mika was more of a close quarters, kind of hand-to-hand melee fighter using, swords and maces and stuff like that. And the smoothbore gun was more of a second thought for projectiles, of course, for oncoming or incoming enemies. So that's why I have it on the left. And personally, I like to have it on the left and with the barrel extended, kind of like a Hajime Katoki style, extended long barrel thing. Anyway, so that's that. You can store it on the backpack, of course, as you saw earlier. So I'm going to put that away. And one other thing, of course, you can get this on both sides, of course. But these parts here you can take out. Now, it does come with those arms. If I can figure out where I put the arm. Oh, here you go. Alright, so two ball joints on each end. You have a swinging part here down the middle. The smaller ball joint is going to go onto the white piece here that's lower, where it's attached to the smoothbore gun, like that. And then the bigger ball joint is going to go onto the backpack. And you just got to manipulate it in a certain way so that way it can fit right underneath and be underslung under each arm, whichever you prefer. Again, I prefer the left. Now, there's another thing that this comes with that you don't necessarily have to switch out, but there's these pieces here that you would use to basically replace that so that it looks like it came out of the backpack. You don't necessarily have to do it or use it again, because who really looks at the back of your Gundam model kit unless you're in a contest? But it's there, you have that option. And that's it for the accessories. Now, before my final thoughts, I need to show you guys what annoys me the most about this model kit. Yeah, sure, it doesn't come with a mace, but no big deal. It's not that big a deal to me. I'm not going to knock this model kit for not having the mace. Not too much, at least. I'm happy with the sword and the smoothbore gun. But for those of you who like to pose your model kits on an action base, unfortunately, this kit doesn't come with an adapter. So what you have to do is take your current action base stand, BA3, B1, number 8, I guess. It's one of the adapters for your 1 to 100 scales. You have to cut off the tips a certain length just for them to fit on this. I would have liked for Bandai to include an actual adapter to put onto your current action bases instead of having to cannibalize one. Because, like, what if that one was the only one you had and you wanted to put something else on there? Like, it's just kind of annoying. This is the most annoying thing about this kit for me. Alright guys, now for my final thoughts. Looking back to my old reviews, I realized that sometimes I was a little too nice. So I think now's a good time to be more fair. Now, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start with the negatives. Now, not so many negatives so much. You do get parts that will pop off once you move it around. Most notably parts that you may want to swap out in case you want to give him the different forms. For example, the bicep armor piece and the shoulder armor piece. Those easily come off because if you look at it, and if you have most of the kits, you do realize that the bicep and the shoulder armor are one of the pieces you're going to want to swap out, especially if you want to do the original form, the second form, third form, whatever form. Other pieces that may pop off during posability, and can't say there's too much else, but just be warned, parts will come off. The other thing, you don't get the mace. That's more of a personal thing, I think. Because again, personally, I don't really care for the fact that this did not come with the mace. I'm happy with the sword. I'm happy with the smoothbore gun. It's clearly a Bandai sales tactic for you to get more kits later on, just for you to get the mace. We all know it. But if that's really important to you, then you can either deal with it or get the high grade. This kit does not come with a mace, but I would still have to say it's a negative because to some people it's very important. The other thing, of course, you don't have a lot of hands, Bandai. You really gotta step it up in terms of adding the hands. Cause see, look at this. It just looks like he's about to swing his sword, and he's using his hand as like a way of aiming where he's gonna swing the sword instead of having like a clawed hand, like just like the box art or the cover art on the manual. I need more hands. Like I could be asking for too much because hey, it's not a Robot Damashi figure, or it's not an action figure. If you want hands, get an action figure Z. But still, Bandai, you've included it before. Include more hands. And the other thing is, if you're not going to use the stickers, you got a lot of work cut out for you. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing depends on you and how you build your model kits. I'm more of a straight builder. I did not complain when I had to paint, although, like I said, the only difficult part of painting this was the shoulders there with the pink or the metallic red that I used. But other than that, moving on to the positives about this kit does look good. As you can see, whether you're going to paint it the way I do or if you're going to paint it your own way. But, okay, this kit does need to be painted. A bare bones straight build kit without even any panel lines. I mean, at least panel line this thing. If you're not going to paint it, if you're not going to add the stickers, at least panel line it because this thing looks super bare without any of those details. You have to at least paint this kit or panel line this kit. I'm sorry. But you will have to panel line the kit at least to make him look somewhat decent, especially without all the colors. Because if you look back at the sticker sheets and all the parts that I painted, those are all important things. And without those being painted or at least using the stickers, it looks super bare. This is going to be a super white looking kit and very basic too. This kit does not have sharp details like you would expect a master grade to have. And again, this is not a master grade. It's just a upscaled one. It's just an upscaled high grade with an inner frame on it. So there's that. The other positives, again, good posability, good design. It looks cool. Like I said, it captures more of a power than it does with the anime proportioned high grade. Overall, I enjoyed building this kit. It was a fun build, and that's all that should matter, is you enjoyed having fun. You enjoyed building this kit, and you had fun building this kit. So with that said, should you pick this up? Because there is a 1 to 100 scale Barbatos 6 form now, as of recording this. Should you pick this up? Well, I'll say this. You may want to get both, because if you want the mace, you're going to have to get the 6 form. If you want the 6 form only, but you want the smoothbore gun and the sword, you're not going to get that, because they don't come with the 6 form. You only get the mace and the wrench mace with the 6 form. You can still make a Barbatos kit without using all the extra armor, but you just would not have the smoothbore gun and the katana. You would only have the 2 different maces. So I think the choice is up to you. I'm happy that I have this one, because it's going to kind of teach me what I'm going to have to do with my next one, which is, of course, the 6 form, which I do have, and I did do an unboxing for that. Please check it out. But with that said, I did enjoy this kit. Personally, is it for you is going to be up to you. I say pick it up. Get them both if you love Iron-Blooded Orphans. If you didn't like Iron-Blooded Orphans especially, then don't even bother with this kit. But it is a cool kit, and it was so cool that it brought me back into building Gunpla. Now with that said, guys, thanks for watching. Please like this video, hit that like button, demolish it, subscribe to my channel for more video reviews. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and tell me what you think about these Barbatos kits or the Iron-Blooded Orphans kits in general. Please share this video as well. And did I already say subscribe? I think I did. Alright guys, thanks for watching, thanks for your time, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!